Hey guys, this is Bharadwaj with Fonearena.com, and what we have here today is the Xolo Q1000 Opus. Yes, this is yet another Xolo Q1000. The earlier one was based on the MediaTek chipset, but this one is pretty special. It is one of the first devices to be based on the quad-core Broadcom chipsets. So Broadcom recently licensed ARM A7 and A8 architectures, and this is one of the first products based on the A7 architecture. Recently we saw the Galaxy S Duos 2 based on the dual core Broadcom processor, but this is the first one to have the quad core Broadcom processor. So that's what is very special with this Xolo Q1000. Another special thing is that this is a low to mid range device, unlike the mid to high end Xolo Q1000, which has a 13 megapixel camera and a pretty high end specs when compared to this price. So this retails under 10,000 and I'm gonna unbox it. So let's get to it. This is the Xolo Q1000 Opus, a pretty standard box Q-Core series you might have seen in all the unboxings. But the important aspect of this is the specs, of course. So let's zoom in and focus on it. First up, the most important spec is that this is based on the new Broadcom quad-core processor BCM23550. It has a 1.2 GHz quad-core chip and 312 MHz Video Core 4 graphics engine. Video Core 4 is actually pretty powerful, so for a 10,000 rupee device, this is actually great. It also has a 5-inch FWVGA IPS display, which is 854 by 480, which has 196 ppi of pixel density. Not that great, but still it's under 10,000, so what can you expect? There's a 5MP AF rear camera with BSI sensor on the back. There's a VGA front-facing camera, full HD video playback. You have dual SIM, 1 GB of RAM, 4 GB of internal memory, 32 GB of expandable memory, micro SD card. You have USB on the go, Xolo apps, and Android 4.2 Jelly Bean, and 2000 mAh lithium polymer battery. Beg your pardon. So this is pretty standard. The specs are pretty standard, but the most important aspect is that this is a showcase device for the Broadcom quad-core processor. There was a piece that we did after going to the Broadcom event. Broadcom was a big player earlier when Nokia was a big player. So they pretty much lagged behind by not licensing the appropriate architectures from ARM, but finally they did. And now we have quad core processors from them. Before we had only dual core processors, and they were pretty much based on the early architectures. So anyway, that's the device right there on the top. Let's quickly take it out of the protective cover. Pretty normal looking device. If you remember the Q1000, it pretty much looks the same. Not exactly the same, but the design is very similar. The back is different though. It's completely glossy plastic. The device is in white, of course, but let's take a look at the device later and check the box contents. This should be pretty normal. Over the top we have the flip case, which seems to be the standard accessory to be given with 5-inch or greater devices these days. Pretty nice that Xolo has bundled this for a 10,000 rupee device. Pretty awesome. And then we have the yet another standard addition to the box these days, and that is the scratch card. Pretty hard to take it out of the box. Let's try to take it. So yeah, there's a scratch card here. Again, pretty standard stuff these days. Xolo seems to be packaging all these with their smartphones. And inside we have the micro USB cable, the 3.5 mm headphones with mic, and the lithium polymer battery, which is 2000 mAh. Again, very standard. And then we have the bunch of information booklets here. Nothing special. Quick start guide and the safety warranty and legal information. And then we have the travel charger, of course. So let's quickly take them out and see. They are actually pretty normal, nothing special to expect here. But anyway, let's take them out. This is the charger that's connects to USB. The battery again. The headphones, which are in ear, thankfully. Again, these are the headphones that come bundled with the box. To take a closer look, Here are the in-ear headphones with mic and the switch, and the micro USB cable, which is pretty self-explanatory. You can take a look at the individual pics in our blog, in the blog post below. The links are in the description. And a closer look at the flip case here. The flip case is pretty nice actually, very sturdy and very handy perhaps. We'll test it out, but again, let's get back to the phone. This is the phone right there. A glossy plastic back and pretty large, pretty normal sized actually. These days 5-inch is pretty normal, so nothing to expect more or less. The design is very standard, but the build quality is pretty nice. Not A600 level matte, but glossy itself is pretty good. This is much like a Samsung Galaxy S3 perhaps. So that's the phone right there. Quickly going through the hardware. You have the front facing camera, the earpiece, and the couple of sensors on the top. You have the capacitive shortcuts over here at the bottom. The for home, back, and contextual menu, which has a multitasking button for no reason. On the right you have a power lock switch. On the left you have volume rocker. Over at the bottom you have the micro USB and the primary microphone. Pardon me for not focusing, but that's the closest I can get to the phone. And over at the top we have the 3.5mm jack, and that's about it. So that's about it for the phone on the front and the sides. Over at the back we have the 5 megapixel autofocus camera, single LED flash, the Xolo branding, and the loudspeakers. Underneath the battery cover will obviously have the micro SD card slot and the dual SIM card slot. So let's open it up. So over here you can see that there are two SIM card slots. One is micro SIM and one is mini SIM, and there is the micro SD card slot, and this is where the battery goes in. So let's pop in the battery and power on the device. This is the 2000 mAh lithium polymer battery. Let's pop it in. So there you go, the battery is popped in. Let's close the back door and power on the device to see how Android 4.2 Jelly Bean looks, to see if there's any new modifications on the Xolo Q1000 Opus. We think there won't be any, because Xolo pretty much gives standard software and does not add anything or remove anything. It does have some peculiar Xolo apps like Xolo Secure, Xolo Power. They are pretty useful. If you had read our reviews of the earlier Xolo phones, you might exactly know what to expect from the Xolo software. It's very basic and very functional. We like that it is very non-intrusive. So there you go, that's the home screen. Let's quickly change the brightness because it's very bright. The display is very bright, but I can immediately notice that this is a 800 by 480 resolution display, because the obvious downfall of cost cutting is resolution. You have Xolo Secure and Xolo Power running, and there's also the warranty registration. So we'll go through that later. Let's quickly go to the settings. You can see that it's pretty stock. As always, Xolo remains stock. 4.2.2 is the software version, right up from 4.2.1. Let's quickly take a look at the camera interface. The camera interface should be pretty similar to like other Xolo devices, but surprisingly this is very stock, because this is not based on the MediaTek chipset. This is based on the Broadcom chipset, so it has the stock camera app, unlike the MediaTek camera app that comes with MediaTek based devices. So anyway, that's the Xolo Q1000 Opus for you. A quick look at its hardware and its software. The software is pretty much barren. You can't do anything wrong with it. It's pretty good. The display is pretty good, but the resolution, as I said earlier, for a 5-inch display, 854 by 480 is less, but for the price it comes at, it's pretty awesome. And you can see the performance is pretty good. But as you can see with the performance, it's pretty great. Now, talking of performance, we'll be bringing you benchmarks and gaming performance of this device real soon. So that'll be coming up on our YouTube channel. And in between, we also have a CES 2014 coverage live from the show floor. So do subscribe to our channel for more videos of the Xolo Q1000 Opus as well as the Consumer Electronics Show 2014 live from Las Vegas. We'll be reporting you through our blog and through our YouTube channel. A lot of hands-on videos will be coming your way. So stay tuned to our channel. Do hit the like button if you like this video. And of course, as I said earlier, do hit the subscribe button without fail if you want all the videos delivered right to your inbox. Thanks for watching.